in order for us, in order for you and for me to reach our fullest potential, the first thing I had to do with this podcast, and which I'm still doing, is reframe your mindset. Reframe your thinking about you. Have you ever looked in the mirror before and said to yourself, ugh? Yeah, have you ever done that before? Have you looked in the mirror and said things about yourself that were unkind? Things about yourself that actually are not true? But to make yourself, I don't know, feel some kind of pity for yourself, you've said some stuff about yourself that, yeah, that's not nice. Have you ever said to yourself, in fact, some of us, many of us, forget the outside world, if you overcome your own rejection and learn how to embrace who you are, learn how to embrace your unique gifts and talents. I can't think of the lady's name. Oh man, I can't think of her name. When it comes to mind, I promise you, I'll let you know who it is. Maybe on the next episode. Oh man. In fact, while I'm talking, I'm gonna try to look her up. But she said something the other day that blew my mind. She was a guest on a podcast. And yes, I am looking it up in real time. She was a guest on a podcast, and Shelby Clement. Yeah, Shelby Clement. She does this marketing. She has a marketing company, and she does these huge events where she brings in speakers and does all kinds of things, wonderful things. She's from my home state. She's from Covington, Louisiana, actually. But she talked about the fact that we sell ourselves short when you don't put out a message or a podcast because you don't have a haircut. You got other issues. You don't want to give somebody a positive message that you were born to give them because your nails aren't done today. You don't want to get on the camera. And listen, I am not judging you at all. I had to overcome that myself. Oh, you're not a certain weight, and you look 20 pounds heavier on camera, and you're not going to give this message that you've been given to give to the world because of external challenges? Please. I'm not saying the external challenges are fake. I'm not saying that they are not real. I'm saying they should not stop you. Rewind that. I'll say it again. I'm not saying the external challenges are not real. I'm not saying that you aren't overweight. You very well, I'm overweight. All right? I'm not saying that your hair isn't cut. Those things might be real. I'm not saying you don't have hangnail. Right? I'm not saying those things aren't a reality. They very well may be your reality, but what also is your reality is the purpose for which you were born. All those things I just mentioned, you may be struggling. Listen, you may be going through your own. Have you ever? This is the wildest thing for me, that I've been prompted to give a message about something I haven't even overcome yet. I've been prompted to give people hope about stuff that I'm like, man, listen. I remember one time I was talking to a group of guys. I told you all last episode. If you didn't hear it, go back to episode 49. But I grew up when I was born. And shout out, man, my dad, like my dad is that dude, right? But my biological father was not around, right, when I was born. And one of the things that really is interesting, because I meet a lot of young black men, black boys in my work across this country who are fatherless. I meet a lot of them. I mean, I'm talking about hundreds every year, right? And I look at them as they're sitting in the bleachers while I'm giving an assembly speech, or in a classroom as I'm doing a classroom demonstration, or whatever the case might be, and I see myself. And for the life of me, I couldn't understand why I've been placed in front of these young men who were struggling with what I was also struggling with, and that was pain from the absence, even though I had my pops with me. I love him to death. But the pain also of my biological father don't want to be a part of my life. That's a trip. And me having a son now, I'm saying to myself, ain't no way in the world. For me, I can't fathom it. I don't know circumstances. I don't, no people have adult issues. I get all that. I understand that. Trust me. But she ain't gonna stop me from connecting with my boy. I said to myself, man, why do I feel compelled to tell these boys to do something I haven't done yet? And it finally hit me. I mean, I was asking these boys to forgive their absent fathers, and I'm 40-something years old, and I hadn't forgiven my absent father. And sometimes, and I'm getting back on track in a minute, journey with me for a minute. I had to ask myself, I had to come to the realization, I should say, that I was compelled to give these young men that message over and over again, because it was not only prompting them, but it was reminding me that I need to do what I'm telling them to do. It was reminding me of this reality that, hey, the same medicine you're giving them, you need to take it for yourself because you're still sick. And it works that way sometimes. It blows my mind sometimes how I'm compelled to tell somebody to do something, and I'm like, oh, unless you want to feel like a fraud, go do it yourself. And that young lady, Shelby Clement, as she was talking on that podcast episode to one of my favorite speakers in the world, Trent Shelton, and she was talking about, why don't you post that messy bun picture? I mean, you want to wait till you put the hairpiece in, the lashes on, but people know that's not the real you. Why don't you post the one where you've been crying all morning and, and you've got snot coming out your nose? People can actually more relate to that, right, than the picture with all the makeup on. People can better relate to, I'm not saying that you should stay overweight. I'm not saying that at all. But it's funny how on that journey, you don't want to document that, forgetting that people can actually identify better with that struggle than, the six-pack you. You want to get the six-pack, right? But first you got the beer belly to deal with, right? And you forget that people actually want to come along with you, right, on that journey, but you want to show the pristine, sanitized version. And on this podcast journey, man, have I had some hiccups. 50 episodes, man, have I had some episodes I've come in here, have tired. I would say 40% of the time, I actually didn't want to be on camera. But I made a commitment that there's somebody on the other side of this camera, there's somebody on the other side of this speaker, there's somebody on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, there's somebody listening or viewing that needs to hear the message I've been given to deliver. So I had to overcome me. There's a book a gentleman wrote, and I can't recommend the book because I never read it, right? So the title just stood out to me. It was called World War Me. I don't know why I never read it. It's been about 20 years since I saw that title. I can't tell you why I didn't read the book, but I never read the book, so I'm not endorsing or I'm not saying anything negative or bad about it, or negative or positive about it. I don't know. But the title stuck out. Because every day I wake up, it's World War Me. It's me versus me. I'm battling the person I'm looking at in the mirror. I'm just trying to become better than I was yesterday. And if there's something I've shared through these 50 episodes that have been of benefit to you, I'm inviting you to write down in the comments, man. Sometimes every now and again, you want to hear that, hey, man, maybe there's one sentence I said, one phrase, one word that has been of benefit to you, that has enlightened you, that has helped you along the way, right? I want to hear it. And that kind of reminds me of the fact that, hey, this thing is not in vain. So the first person to get to 50 episodes I had to overcome was myself. And the second thing I had to do, and I'm done, I'm not going to be as long as the other ones, I have to learn how to set realistic goals. You know, you first come out the gate, man, it's like, oh, I'm gonna have 10,000 subscribers by the next month, and I'm gonna have all these listeners around the globe, right? And it's a real transparent moment. Sometimes you set these lofty goals, and then your work behind it doesn't match up. I got these lofty goals, and you don't want to sit down and write the proper thumbnail. You don't want to write the proper title. You don't want to put, not write the proper thumbnail. You don't want to pay the money to get the nice thumbnail done, or write the caption that's going to be captivating. Why are you going to get these followers, Eugene? How are you going to touch these lives, Eugene? If you don't do what it takes to let them know that, hey, I got something over here that could benefit you. If I don't take the time to sit down and be like, you know what? Let me take 20 minutes out of my day. I mean, we got all kind of opportunities now with technology to sit down, and they got these prompts for AI and chat. I mean, there's no excuse. I don't use those things, right, just yet, right, for certain things in my business and in my communication process. But what I'm saying is, you got to set realistic goals, and then set yourself up to go after them in a way that reflects that you're serious about that goal.